How you doing? My name is Rem. I am a professional musician. Been playing for about 25 years. I'm also a professional guitar tech and build a lot of custom guitar rigs for a lot of the stars that you know out there. Great guitar heroes such as Tom Morello, Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains, Keith Nelson from Buck Cherry, and many other artists in the meantime as well too. Currently playing guitar and singing in a southern rock band called the Texas Rifles. Got a great heavy electronic based band based out of Dallas, Texas called Stink Bug, and rounding that off is a wonderful Black Crowes tribute band called Heckle and Jekyll. So I'm really using all kinds of different amps for different sounds, from classic rock, really vibey tones, to super heavy, crushing, hard, heavy, distorted guitar tones as well. I'm after almost every kind of guitar sound under the sun, going all the way from your vintage tones to super heavy tones and everything in between. I think there's a place for so many different kinds of sounds. People have their own preference, whether it's brand preference, Marshalls or Vox or Mesa Boogie. So I'm looking to get as many of these different kinds of tones as possible to be able to layer them and use them in the studio for production. And it depends on what the music or the song calls for. For me, I think what's important in sound is going to be the recreation of the amp. There's a certain mojo, there's a certain vibe that tube amps have. When you get on a great tube amp, they make you want to play a little bit more. And the other thing is you try different amps, you try different versions of the same amplifier, and each one will have its own little characteristics that you really like about it. So the great thing about the Kemper is that I hear those subtle nuances coming out of a particular amp when I'm playing on the Kemper, like I did out of the head directly. Fortunately, I'm able to do it out of a 100-watt amp without waking up the neighbors and disturbing the peace. Pretty classic when it comes to my amp selections. I love vintage Marshalls and Voxes, and I really dig the new hand-wired series that both those companies are doing. That would be my go-to heads and combos, I would say. But then again, when I'm playing my heavy projects, there's no doubt that the Bogners and the Riveras are my go-to amps. Rob turned me on to the Kemper Amp Profiler basically by through a friend. He heard of the Kemper Amp Profiler through a friend of his that works with Kemper, and when we heard about it, it sounded too good to be true. We both have huge collections of amps, and we just thought that it would be amazing if you could take all these amps and put them in one small package that I could carry around and be able just to scroll through all my amps. That's what really caught my attention. And as soon as we started profiling, it was just so much fun. Coming up with your own ways to be able to profile. There's so many things that you can add into the profiling experience, such as microphones, technique on miking, and choices of mics, and the way you set the amps up. It's really just been a blast going through and checking out all the different things that you can do with the profiler and the way that it profiles the amps into the unit. Absolutely. I've had multiple profiling sessions and looking forward to many more. Profiled many Marshalls in here, from old JMPs to some classic rock and roll JCM 800s, even some newer modern JCM 2000s. Also really wanted to kind of change it up a little bit and try some of the high gain amps as well too. So we've profiled Bogner Uberschall and also a couple of Rivera K trays in here, and it's just been spectacular. just big, wide, and open. You can really, you can hear all the strings on the guitar. It has a great vibe and a feeling. It just really reminds me of the amp itself, which is an amp that I'm really used to, that I've been playing on for years, and it has it has the same flavor. It has the same mojo that the real amp has. It is that amp inside this little box. It's amazing. The other thing that I really dig is the fact that I can back off the gain here. Really responds well. And then at the same time, I can go over the top, get more gain than I could ever get out of that instrument. So that's the same amp with more gain that I could ever get out of the actual amp, but the Kemper allows me to be able to add characteristics of that amp that aren't even in the amp. So that to me is something that is groundbreaking and truly usable right here. I just really love it. Right here I'll go into one of my other ones here. Well, the Kemper's been working great. Whether I'm at home in the studio, whether I'm out on the road or I'm on the bus, it's really kept me inspired, and it also allows me to be able to get what I need immediately without getting in the way of the inspiration. As a matter of fact, the Kemper is inspiring because it allows me to be able to get right to what I need immediately. When I have a great idea in my head, I want to write a new track, I can just plug into the Kemper and I immediately get what I'm looking for, instead of having to deal with something on a smaller scale basis that is not going to give me quite the tones that I'm looking for. This actually makes me feel like I'm playing out of my 100-watt head at home with the headphones on, and that's really is one of the main things that has been great about the Kemper, is being able to take my whole slew of amps with me in one hand. As a matter of fact, I'm right in the middle of building a fly rig, and we'll be doing some, and going to be testing out and putting it through its paces here in rehearsals next month. So I absolutely am considering taking this out on tour, and I really like the way that when you combine the Kemper along with some real cabinets and some power amps on stage, the feeling that you get, the stage volume and everything, it really just solidifies the overall vibe that you're getting from the Kemper, the true tone of a tube amp coming through this miraculous little piece. The Kemper absolutely inspires my playing. I guess the most reason being that I don't have to take the time to unplug heads, re-mic up different cabinets. Everything is right there. So as soon as a thought comes in, as soon as I want to play a riff, if it's something heavy, I can go straight to like a Bogner or Rivera setting. If it's something, it's a good classic rock kind of tone, bam, I can just go to my 800 or my JMP, and I'm rocking and ready to go right there. It doesn't get in the way of inspiration. It actually adds inspiration. Well, the verdict for the Kemper Amp Profiler is, without a doubt, it's a winner. It's a great product. I look forward to profiling more amps, spending more time with it, and I can't wait to see what else Kemper has in store for us. It's just really been a pleasure to work with, and I'm just scratching the surface on this wonderful unit right here. So without a doubt, definitely gets a thumbs up from me. Keep up the good work, guys. You're very, very welcome. Thanks, Kemper.